Good evening, boys and girls. I'm back, and this doesn't feel quite right.
What's wrong, pretty bird?
Can you tell it sounds different? And it looks a little different?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is. I don't think I'm in the kitchen anymore. Yeah, Dorothy, this ain't Oz.
No, you're not in the kitchen anymore, pretty bird. You're in my home office.
Well, I've graduated.
Yeah. Could you read us a story tonight about Abram?
I can. It's going to be called Abraham pretty soon.
Okay, go for it.
Well, this is how it goes. For a long time, Abram did not understand God's promise to him that his family would be great and numbered as the stars in the sky. Remember, no baby boy. You just that one, finally.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard for him to believe because he did not have a child, and he thought that perhaps Ishmael could be the son that God promised. That it wasn't what he wanted. But when he sent Ishmael and his mother away, he showed Abraham that Ishmael was not the one. God wanted Abram's wife, to be the child's mother, not an Egyptian servant girl. That's what she was.
Mm-hmm. She was her handmaiden person. Mm-hmm.
God repeated his promise to Abram several times. Was he hard of hearing?
No, he just wanted him to get it straight.
Sometimes this promise is called the Old Covenant because it was given to Abraham in the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
The Old Covenant is a promise. The New Covenant is a promise is given in Christ when he comes. This is confusing.
Just read the story.
One time when God was speaking to Abram, he told him he was going to change his name to Abraham. Great, now it gets longer.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the father of many nations. He was barely the father of one kid.
I know.
He changed Sammy's name to Sarah, which means a princess. Wait a minute, I've heard that before someplace.
Mm-hmm. What's your principal of your school's name?
Mrs. Sarah Owens. Oh, she is a little princess, isn't she?
Yeah, she can be.
Okay, so that's where she gets her name?
That's exactly where she gets her name.
Okay, I gotta continue on. When Abraham, new name, was 99, oh my gosh, he and Sarah, they were very old, and God visited them and told them that the time had come for their son to come. She is not gonna look good in maternity clothes.
No, she probably didn't.
Sarah laughed when she heard that she was going to have a baby because she thought she was too old. I agree. But sure enough, God sent them a little baby boy, and they named him Isaac. Isaac made everyone very happy. He was a little toddler.
Mm-hmm, he was.
Abraham and Sarah, well, they were very proud of him. All parents are proud of their kids.
I know they are. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, when I behave.
Yeah.
And they gave a great dinner to show him to their friends when he was still just barely a little baby boy. And they walked about. They took very good care of him, and he grew to be a fine boy, obedient to his parents. That means they obeyed.
Mm-hmm. I did.
One day, God gave Abraham a very hard thing to do. Teach that kid how to tie his shoes. That's what it was.
No, it wasn't. Mm-mm.
He wanted to see if Abraham really believed in him and loved him more than anything else in the world. Well, that's not hard to figure out. He does.
Well, keep going.
Even his son. More than even his son. He asked him to take Isaac and offer him like a sacrifice on an altar. Okay, this is getting disgusting. These kids should not hear this story at nighttime.
Believe me, it's going to change in a minute.
Of course. This made Abraham very sad. He loved his boy very much. God had made Abraham the promise that Isaac would be an ancestor, or father, of a great nation of people, and that they would someday own the land of Canaan. How could God keep his promise if Isaac was going to be killed?
See, that's why it's not going to happen.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Abraham wondered about this, but he prepared to obey God anyway. The next morning, bright and early, Abraham and Isaac set off for Mount Moriah. Hey, there's a church named that.
Yeah, there is. Mount Moriah Church, there is.
To worship God. And they took with them 2 servant men, their donkeys, and wood for the offering. far from the mountain?
Very far, yeah.
On the third day, they saw the mountain in a distance. Abraham and Isaac alighted from their donkeys. They what?
Got off.
Okay. Abraham said to the servants, "You keep our donkeys here while Isaac and I go up on the mountain and worship." They were going to leave them out?
They weren't needed.
Oh, okay. Now, nice to leave people out. And when he had finished, we'll come back. Then he gave Isaac the wood that they had brought from the offering and took a pitcher of fire in it. A what?
A clay pot with some fire in it. Hot coals.
Oh, a fire starter. Got it. Isaac looked about and asked, "My father, here you have the fire and I have the wood for the offering. Where's the animal to sacrifice?" This kid didn't know what was going on?
No.
Good thing. "God himself will provide a lamb for the offering, my son," Abraham replied. Together they started up the mountain. When they reached the place of worship, they set the stones for the altar and laid the wood upon it. It's getting close. Then perhaps Isaac realized that he was the offering God was providing. The Bible tells us that he allowed his father to bind him.
Tie him up.
Not me, I wouldn't.
And come on.
And lay him across the wood. This kid is super brave. Sadly and slowly, Abraham raised his knife to kill his son, his only son. This is too much.
Just keep reading. It's going to be all right.
The promised one to whom he had waited for so many years. Surely the thoughts of all these promises of God crossed his mind in that moment. But as he lowered his hand that was clutching the knife, an angel of the Lord called out to him, "Abraham! Abraham!"
That sounds more like your mother.
I know. It's my mommy voice. With relief, Abraham dropped the knife and answered, "Here I am." "There is no need for you to kill your son, Abraham. God knows now that you trust him and love him more than anything ever. This was the message that the angel brought. That was good news.
There'll be more good news later on in some of these stories.
I know, Jesus gets born. Abraham then raises his eyes, and as he did, he spied a ram with the horns. And it was caught in the thickets.
What's that?
Bushes, briars, brambles.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It was the offering that God had provided. He untied Isaac, saved the kid, and they worshipped God together with the sacrifice that he had given him. Abraham named the place Mount Moriah, where he and Isaac had built the altar. The Lord will provide. That's what it means. Surely it was a place that they would never forget. I wouldn't if I forget that if I was that kid. For it was here Abraham had passed the greatest test that God ever gave him. That makes driving tests look easy.
It does.
Wow. That was a close call tonight. Yeah. Okay, kids, all I got to say is this was a long one, and I want to check out my new office room. So snuggle up, snuggle down, pull the covers up, and dream about birdies. Can I sit in your chair?
No.